Hello, CNG 125. Welcome to Networking 2, week number 11. Um, so I did some. Thank you, Wes, for bringing up the topic yesterday. Week 10. It said in the title that we're doing VoIP. I thought it was VoIP. The links led to just the book. I did put in the VoIP material that I found in PDF format. So if you want to look at that, go ahead and go back and do check it out. But that's all I could find from the resources that were kind of out there available to me. Um, I don't know where the original documents came from, so I was just a little off in that sense. Um, but thank you anyways. Good job, Wes, to do that. Thanks for pointing that out. This week I took Chapter 12, renamed it Chapter 11, and we should be covering WAN devices, wide area networks. So that does match up, and I believe that even matched up as we were going through the book um, let me click on it, matching up to the book because we already did risk management previously, and I believe that was chapter 8 or 9 that we dove into that one. So looking at the book, full book. I'm gonna have to dive back in here. I don't think we did. Well, I'm not sure of what we did not cover, but I'll put that in the next chapter um, to look at. I think even looking at this, if we do review that VoIP processes, we have one extra week. But I'll definitely take a look at that. I did have the project for next week kind of already picked out. Do let me know. I guess I can put a Google poll or something in there to see if you guys want to start on projects. Basically, we take kind of what we've been analyzing through discussion and formulating actual projects, project development. I guess I'll just show you guys. And project development, basically, first we start out with our house, our own home. Um, you know, uh, what's my problem here at the house? My problem is I had to take out my firewall because it does not support uh, internal gigabit speeds. It supported only the outside WAN connection supported gigabit speeds, but the internal LAN side dropped those speeds down to 50 megabits. So I was quick to take that out after I got in my my connection here, Connexon, and you know what? I need a new firewall, and that would be one of my needs. You know, one of my problems, and that gap analysis. You know, what parts of my network do not meet your needs? Security. You know, I'm relying heavily now on software firewall, Windows, Symantec. Let's see if I can get to pop up here. You know, Windows Symantec. I'm now reliant on just software firewalls. You know, how can my network support me as a student? Well, really by giving my files more security. You know, priorities. What am I going to focus on? Hardware, software, location. Um, I'll be focusing on hardware for my project. You know, it's a firewall. Since I already have software firewall. Location. I guess I can draw the location when I come down here and do the topology and say, okay, the hardwall should be positioned near my my router, in between my router and my switch. I could estimate a time to finish work. That could be a long shot, you know. Actually, that's pretty reasonable too. If we look at Amazon and other companies, everyone's kind of throttling back on manpower at warehouses, so it could take longer to finish this project if I pick it up. Make a topology. I would just make a couple squares in paint, mimicking a shelf. Yeah, a shelf. And then draw like a couple more squares and say, okay, this is the router. This is where the firewall should be placed. And then this is my switch. I should say my modem. Modem, firewall, switch. Oh, I'm messing that up. Modem, router, firewall, switch. There we go. Modem, firewall, switch. There we go. And do I have a budget? Well, I definitely don't want to spend $1,000 on it. I'll probably want to spend, for a home one, I don't know, around $500, I guess, would be a reasonable cost for a firewall that I know is probably going to have gigabit speeds. And I only have knowledge in this because I kind of know what is in the market already. So make sure you do some research. If you have a budget, definitely look at that. Hardware costs, do I need a new appliance? Yes. I put the cost of the appliance, tools needed. Do I need termination tools? Do I need a screwdriver to mount it into a rack, onto a shelf? Do I need extra cables? Do I need RJ40, Cat5e cables, Cat6 cables, new cables? Is there any additional software needed? Those are all things I want to make sure that are wrapped into my project. Then when I get my project done and you complete your project, show me what you did in your project through a slide presentation. 5 to 10 slides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can almost do one slide per topic and come out well. Could you offer this solution to another person? Basically, is your solution viable enough that you can say, hey, you know what? I did this to my home system at a reasonable cost. Can you do it? You can also do it to your home for reasonable cost. And some might be, it might be as simple as going from like an N router to an AC, a DC router. It might be as simple as just upgrading your system, and that could be your project also. And then a project reflection. Was it a success? Not all projects are successes. Sometimes when you start to do research, you're like, whoa, this is way over budget. It will not be a success. But anyways, you still finish that project because that's what you initially started out to do in your project charter. Maybe the project itself wasn't a success, but the solution was an success. But the project, you completed the project. And that's what I'm trying to lead to there. Is there anything you missed? Looking back at your project, could you improve it if you added an additional piece of hardware or something? And this all goes into your presentation at the end. It's like a reflection piece where you get to look back at your project and you say, yeah, you know what? Maybe if I did this, my project could have came out a little bit better. A little bit more smooth. But anyways, that's what we're kind of doing next week when we jump into the project portion of the course. First will be the home network. Then we're going to do a small office, home office. And then that'll put us at 12, 13, 14, 15. I think I might put you guys in groups. How many of us? Oh, excuse me. Yeah, there's quite a few of us. I think I might break us into groups. 14, 7. That's kind of a big group. But yeah, I'll break us into groups. Try to get 3 and 4s into groups. And then we'll just do like a group project where basically you look at like an enterprise solution for at least a medium-sized business and try to get that that squared away. With that, I'll cut the video here. Week 10, I'll really take a look at it and go lightly on the grading. once again, thanks for pointing that out, and thanks for understanding that the shell is definitely new to me, and there are errors to it that we're working out.